back. This is Sir Alexander commentating for this best of three between Kong and Magus. Magus must have been playing on random because he is now the teal Terran and Kong is the blue Zerg. Now, wait. In the last game, Kong was the Protoss, so they must both be playing as random. Yeah, Kong was the Protoss, Magus was the winner. And so both players were playing as random then, and are now Terran and Zerg, so they really don't know what to expect. Maybe that's why Magus, why Kong did not wall in the first game, so indeed they were playing on random, so he didn't know that he was going to be Zerg, meaning he didn't wall in. He might have been hoping he was Protoss or Terran, but that was a big mistake because those Zerglings did run in, as we saw, and killed every single worker. Massive loss, and now Kong is down one game in this 2v3. He did get to choose the next map, though. He chose Blistering Sands again and was the Zerg. So, cruel irony here, as Kong will be coming back as the Zerg when he lost to the Zerg on this same map in the last game. First supply depot going down, the supply depot going down before the racks, so no cheese. And Magus has his first SCV scout flying across the map with those little turbo thrusters on his shoulder blades. Spawning pool going down for Magus a lot earlier than it went down for Kong, so he's not going for near the economy. Kong did a 16 pool, if I remember correctly, and a hatchery went down right afterwards. So we'll see if this works out against this Terran player. If only Magus had spawned as the Protoss, that would have been the perfect switch around. But we shall see. Oops. Can't talk to the players. Sorry, brought up my chat tab there. Spawning pool is almost at completion. We'll see if there's some sort of early Zergling rush. And it looks like one Zergling on the way. No, that's a worker. Never mind, so no Zergling push. He must have been waiting for that Overlord. He might be trying to get that expansion, but no, we do see some more, some Zerglings come up. Let's see what his production is, what he's producing, rather than clicking on this larva. 4 Zerglings on the way. Magus is, not fully harvesting that refinery yet, so nothing too big. He's probably just going to put down a tech lab or a reactor. Looks like first Marine is on the way, bunker coming out, so he, I'm sorry, supply depot coming out, and then he can put that bunker down. Spawning pool at completion, no gas taken yet. This SCV is scouting this, making sure he's not taking that expansion. Doubtless he'll try and block that when that happens. This guy scouting over here, making sure no Marines are going to push early. Actually, I don't know. No, he wouldn't even see the Marines if they were there, so I don't know what he's doing there. Queen out, and here's some Zerglings. Spine Crawler going up. Good choice against the Marines. Not sure if I entirely agree with that. I mean, he could have 4 Zerglings or 1 Spine Crawler. I don't know. I guess some static defenses are nice, but usually if you look at the better players, then they'll do less static defenses and more army, because your army is mobile and you can harass with it and move with it. But if you're not that good with micro, if you're a little bit of a slower player, don't have that high of an APM, then static defenses are much safer. And indeed, we do see that these two guys have a little bit of a slower APM, as Kong has an APM of 25 and Magus has an APM of 16 on average. In the last game, I think they were 40 and 30. I know TLO has an average of 120, but he's like the best player in the Starcraft 2 universe, so not quite fair to compare these two to him. Anyways, these Zerglings are going to push in, looks like, but no, they will have to turn around as that wall-in is at completion. That bunker is done, and there are Marines there. He'll lose that one. Little bit of a missed micro here, as again, he must have right mouse clicked up there or something. Oh, and a terrible move. He ran right up against this 4 Zerglings there for absolutely no gain. If he would have just taken the time to run a little bit back and around, he would have saved all those Zerglings, but he must have right mouse clicked on his base to have them run back. Or maybe he didn't. Maybe he was trying to get him to that Zelnaga tower or something. He's probably going to activate this tower and leave his Zergling there. Or he's just going to run by and turn it off. I'm not exactly sure why he's why he doesn't have those Zerglings at those towers. More Zerglings coming out. No tech going up right now. I'm going to switch this back to the production tab. So right now we have 2 Zerglings coming out from a reactor core, starport, a barracks, a refinery, all coming out for Magus. There we go, a Roach Warren going up. This is what he really needs. He needs to get Roaches or tech up and get Hydralisks. He needs to get some other unit on the map other than Zerglings, because once siege tanks and stuff start coming out, and in fact we have 2 Hellions coming out which will totally own those Zerglings. Racks I'm sorry, a reactor core going up on the barracks and the factory. We'll see what comes out for the starport. Looks like he's just doing a medevac right now. So it looks like Marines, Hellions, and medevacs. So what is that? MHH, MHM, something like that. Anyways, orbital command going up a good bit late. Usually, I think that's usually on average at like 16 supply. Again, somebody can correct me. So good deal of Zerglings out. This Roach Warren is done. He took a second geyser, so doubtless he'll be putting roaches. He has morphed up. He is morphing to a lair. I'm just going to switch this over and see what Kong saw, Magus saw. So Magus does see everything that's in this base, and he does know that there is no expansion at this time. We're going to switch this over to Kong. Kong is playing completely in the dark. All he sees is that 2 supply depots and a bunker. So he does know that Magus has at least 16 supply. I guess 20 with that command center, but that's not a lot of information. Anyways, Marines being poured out, and looks like those guys were loaded up into a medevac, and here they go. Almost missed that. That would have been bad. They are scouting out these expansions. Doubtless going to try and knock down an expansion if they see one. Probably going to drop off here and do some economy harassment. Those Zerglings are going to come up, so they're not going to get too much in the economy. It looks like 2 guys are down. He really needs to put those guys back in the medevac before they all get killed. He's just going to let them all die. So if I switch this over to the income, looks like Kong. Kong is doing poorly on his macro. Again, he has 14 harvesters to Magus's 21. Is there a command center in production? I do not see a command center in production, so no expansion for either player yet. Medevac coming out, another medevac on the way. These Zerglings going to look to scout out here and maybe see what they can do some damage, but no damage to be done. Roaches waddling out on the map. Otherwise, at his base, he has 2 spine crawlers, which are really out of position for this. Oh, there goes a spore crawler down here. But that's really not going to do too much good either, because the medevac can just drop him off and then fly off, and then come back and pick him up when he needs to. Right now, it's a very defenseless base. I mean, he's got 2 spine crawlers here, but they're totally out of position for any sort of economy harassment. Right, just macroing up and sitting here, but this... Not sure that I entirely agree with bringing all of his forces down here, because these medevacs could load these guys up and put him back in his base, and he can't really do anything down here because there are no expansions. He's sending all of his units down here, nothing to protect his base except for this 1 queen. And if you look at that, he has got a long way to run. If this guy just loads up these medevacs, both medevacs, and then goes back, he'll never be able to break through this front. That'll be a rough... He'll have a rough time breaking through that front wall. I'm not sure if he'll be able to or not, but these... Did he see those medevacs? No, these units are not turning around. Getting off some free hits on that roach, but they regenerate their health very quickly, so it's really not going to do so much. Those roaches do have 1 armor. He might be able to break that wall, but these medevacs, if they drop off their guys, will completely mop up on this expansion. There's nothing but a roach and a couple hydralisks. He needs to unload those guys before they die, though. Looks like he lost 2 Marines there, which is minor loss. All of his units are coming back. They're not going to try and break that wall in, but he will take on all of these units. The Zerglings will go down, and looks like Kong could lose the second game again. He's taking a lot of damage here. I'm going to switch this over to the production tab. I'm sure a lot of Zerglings are coming out. 12 Zerglings coming out. Cloak and Stim being researched. But massive economy damage. Looks like he will take out that Spore Crawler. These Zerglings almost at completion, and they should be enough to mop up on these guys. Or, actually, that Hellion is doing massive damage against them. I think he has... No, it doesn't look like he has pre-igniters. So he says, you know what, I need to forget all of this and make a push. That Banshee's out, which will completely mop up on these forces. He right mouse clicked. He did not move in, so only 3 roaches can attack at a time. Meaning, if he only would have moved in, he totally could have taken down that supply depot. But he failed to do so and will lose his entire attack force. This has to be GG. As his hatchery is going down, he has 10 crystals. I mean, this has to be GG. He doesn't even have a... Does he even have a worker on the map? He doesn't even have a single worker on the map, and he doesn't have enough crystals to rebuild one. The only thing he could do, this expansion is already up. That's that, he says, and that has to be GG. Nothing he can do here. So, mismanage. He calls the GG. A little bit of mismanagement there from Kong then. If only he would have actually walked up this ramp and attacked, he probably could have broken through that supply depot, though I really doubt he could have made too much of an impression on this base, especially since the Banshee is there and he had no anti-air units down there. So he could have broken in, but really couldn't have done all too much. I guess what he really needed to have done was expanded earlier and gotten these saturated and then done a more macro game. That's what Magnus did in the first game, and it worked out very well. I'm not exactly sure what he could have done to win here, except, again, like I said, to expand. And looks like against this mix, if he could have gotten to some mutas would have been absolutely fatal to this mix, as it's Marauder and Hellion heavy. I mean, some Marines, yes, but mutas can really tear up Marines if you have enough of them, though. So excellent game, go Magus, very GG, and good play by Kong as well. I mean, he lost, but it's still good play. And so that means that Magus will win the best of 3. He will get a point and will advance to the next round, play against some higher tier players next time, whereas Magus will play against some lower tier players, but will still be in the round. And I mean, he still has a shot at this tournament if he continues to win games. But we will see as this go on. This is the second of 2, so this was the end of the best of 3. Well played, Magus. Good game, GG, and I hope that you will join us for the rest of this tournament. Thank you very much, and goodbye.